Alright. So, I kind of want to make a video on this, so I will. The standard 5 stars you should choose. Now, I've had experience with every single standard 5-star here in all my time playing the game. So, I'm gonna give my overall thoughts on each character. First off is Jean. Jean is... honestly, she's one of... is she one of the... wait, how many characters are there that can do AoE healing? One moment. AoE healing for the entire party. Because I don't think there are that many. Okay, Sayu can do it. Yeah, Sayu can do it. Chi-Chi can do it as well. Yao Yao is, again, one of the few. Lynette is one of the few. Kokomi is another one of the few. But getting back to it, when it comes to Jean, one of the things that makes her really strong is the fact that you can give her the 4-piece, Wind Shred set. I forget what it's called, but it reduces, like, elemental resistance by, like, 60%. I forget what it is, but I've had her for a while now, and she's always been one of my best healers. You just want to give her a lot of energy recharge. Now, another thing is her constellations, not that valuable. The first one, if you're running someone like Zhao, it's okay. Movement speed and attack speed, it's good for someone like Wanderer, but otherwise not really that crazy. Now, if you have Constellation 3 Jean, and you like Animo DPSs, I do highly recommend you getting Constellation 4 Jean, because Animo resistance decreased by 40% is huge. Constellation 6, not really that worth it. It's nice, but nothing crazy. As for Diluc, he's been severely power-crept. Severely power-crept, even by other 4 or 5 stars. So, I can't really recommend him. Even with his constellations. This one isn't that crazy. You don't want to be taking damage, so this one's not that good. Constellations 4 is okay, but again, would not go crazy for it. Even Constellation 6 doesn't seem that good, so I can't really recommend I can't really recommend Diluc. Now, Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi is considered the worst 5-star you can get in the game.
3, 4, and...
but if you like her character, by all means, if you still haven't gotten her for all the time you've played, then get her. But I will say, many other 5 stars and even 4 stars just do more than just healing. But in terms of healing, Chi-Chi is one of the best. The only constellation she has that is really worth it is maybe Constellation 4, but not by that much. And Constellation 6 is just a safety window for something like Spiral Abyss. Personally, I have C5 Chi-Chi. Well, I'm not hoping to get C6 Chi-Chi, but it's probably gonna happen. Mona is an interesting case because she allows you to do some pretty high damage with her ultimate. But her constellations, on the other hand... Constellation 1 isn't bad. You're not gonna use Mona as a DPS, so Constellation 2 isn't anything crazy. Constellation 4, that's a good quality of life, increasing their crit rate. And Constellation 6 seems like it just increases damage, which is okay. Again, if you have someone like Farina, you really have no reason to use someone like Mona, but if you don't have her, or you think she's extremely hot and plappable, then by all means get her, because, yeah, she's very hot. But I would give her medium priority. Kaching, I think that's how you say her name. I'm always saying it wrong. She is actually a pretty fun Electro DPS. Now granted, she doesn't come up against the likes of like the Raiden Shogun and such. But if you don't have an Electro DPS, she's not bad. I would recommend other characters before them. And as for her constellations... our constellations just let her deal more electro damage. There's not much more than that. I actually have my Kaching at C5, and I rarely, if ever, use her because Raiden Shogun just outdamages her. Alright, Tainari! I don't know why. This is a character I have not been able to use that well. But he's got one of the strongest constellations when it comes to standard 5 stars. So... I don't know, it's weird. I'm highly recommending him, but I myself can't really use him that well. Maybe I built mine wrong or something. But he is a very, very strong standard 5 star. If you're just starting the game and you want a strong Dendro DPS, definitely get him. Oh dear. Poor Dia. I'm gonna be honest, she's definitely like at the bottom of my recommendations. She definitely has a bit of a unique kit. But as someone that's tried to make her work, I struggle. She's not bad in Burgeon teams, but then you're just kind of wasting her ultimate, which her ultimate is incredibly satisfying to use. But I can't really recommend her. Now, if you're like me and you don't have any constellations of her, Constellation 1 is a pretty big buff. Her Molten Inferno damage will increase, and her Leonite Bite will increase. Which, you know, that's a pretty big buff. So, if you have like one of every standard 5-star here, then the one I would personally recommend for a constellation, honestly, it might be Tainari, because just increasing crit rate for his charge attack by 15% is pretty huge. Jean's first constellation, not that good. Diluc's first constellation, it's okay. Chi-Chi's, we don't even talk about it. Mona's it's not bad. This one just helps her do more electro damage. Tainari's just increases the critical rate. And I clicked off. But I would say that Dia, out of all the characters that get the biggest buff besides Tainari, if you have all of these standard 5 stars at just Constellation 0, I would actually say getting Dia Constellation 1 would unlock a lot of damage for her if you're wanting to try to use her. But overall, if you have all the standard 5 stars, I probably recommend Tainari the most. So in terms of, like, standard 5 stars that it... Let's just assume you have none of these standard 5 stars. I would give in priority Tainari, then Jean, then Diluc, followed by Keqing, Chi-Chi, and then Dia. Oh, there's one more thing I should mention about Dia. She cannot die. If you put her in environmental hazard situations, her HP will just automatically recover. I saw a video of, like, Dia just jumping into lava in Natlan, and she just kept regenerating HP over and over again. She would not die. So, if you want to be able to cheese, certain environmental things, like, you know, the electro waters of Inazuma, the cold mountains of Dragonspine. Gosh, it's been so long, I forgot what it was called. And, what else? Basically, any environmental hazards, Dia just gives a big finger to. Which actually makes her a rather interesting character. Now, as for me personally, I already have Jean at Constellation 6, and she's one of my best Animo supports because of that. Diluc I have at Constellation 1. I'm gonna be real, he's not coming anywhere close to the damage Arlecchino can put out. Chi-Chi I have at Constellation 5, unfortunately. So, at least when I finally get, Constellation 6, you know, it will actually be worth something. Mona, I have at Constellation 1. Very rarely do I use her. I used to use her in Ayaka teams, but now that's occupied by Farina. Keqing is pretty strong, but she doesn't come close to my Raiden Shogun, so no. Tainari, I already have at Constellation 1. Let me actually see what his Constellation 2 is real quick. When there are opponents within the field, Dendro bonus. Okay. So, I already have him at Constellation 1. Pretty good. Dia, I have no constellations of. And I only got her last year. And here's the thing, I'm trying to make her work. So, Dia, Constellation 1, is going to be my choice. I hope I've given you enough information on what you should be doing when it comes to which standard 5-star you should choose. But for me, Dia Constellation 1. Yeah! No regrets. Alright, Dia, where are you? Yes! Get stronger! So, that's all the advice I have to give you on the standard 5-star you should choose. I wanted to end it off on the menu there, but now that menu is gone. Oh well. So, pick the standard 5-star that you want, and I hope the information I provided here helps you make a good decision. This is one of the first videos I've done where I'm not using a script. So make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And check out my other videos. Have a good time in Natlon!
Data received.